Make some noise for Josh Johnson!
There's so much is going into the Super Bowl this year. Not only is it Chiefs versus Eagles, there's so much more at play, you know? Like, everybody talks about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce because they're this idea of like the couple we imagine in our minds, but they're adults. It's like high school, but grown up. You know what I mean? Because she symbolically is like this cheerleader in our minds, this like head cheerleader, and it's not his position, but it's symbolically the quarterback in our minds. And so them getting together makes such perfect rom-com sense that there are actually people who think that all of the NFL is fixed just to keep the Chiefs winning, just to keep them going. And honestly, you kind of have to give Taylor props. There are people that think she's so powerful. She is single-handedly shifting the course of the NFL. You know? Because this is my thing with it. You know, if it's fixed, why would they be tackling so hard? You don't need to sell it that bad. If most of the teams know they're not going to the Super Bowl, I think you lay off of a couple hits. I don't think anybody's getting CTE as part of a script. I look at Taylor Swift, I look at what they did to Taylor Swift, especially that part of the season when her and Travis Kelce were just starting to date and they cut to her for no reason. And then people got mad that they were cutting to her. They'd be like, why do you keep cutting to Taylor? But Taylor can't control the camera. Taylor was just trying to eat. And then they cut to her, and then she's doing her best to probably not look annoyed, but also she's genuinely having a good time. She's there with her friends. Yeah, touchdown, yeah, right. But then people are like, why do you keep cutting to her? I don't know. This has never happened before. Cameraman's excited too. They might not even mean to cut to her every time. They're just probably like, man, this is a good play, but I wonder what Taylor's up to. Don't get mad at Taylor because the cameraman got a crush. And so then Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce together. Now Travis Kelce is an interesting dude to me. He really is. Because Travis Kelce, up until this point, I think, I don't know him that well, I don't follow him that closely, but I think he had like mostly, if not only, dated black women before Taylor, you know? And so he has like a fade. So this dude has a fade, and people were asking him about his fade because he has his platform raised. He was already super popular, but his platform got knocked up a few levels by dating Taylor. There were more eyes on him than ever before. And so then, you know, everyone was asking him about his fade. And then about exactly a year ago, from when I'm speaking right now, they asked him about his fade and what it was like to like invent that look. And to his credit, Travis Kelce said, it's the first day of Black History Month. What are you trying to do to me? Which, what an answer. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing I really didn't think about until that moment, is that if you're like a white dude, right? And something ignorant or even bigoted happens around you. Somebody asks an ignorant question or somebody just says something, right? The expectation, if you're a good guy, is to say something immediately, just really stand up and be like, hey, that's not cool, that's not okay, don't do that, right? You know, just really, you can't even give it a second. You have to be like, hey, stop right there, okay? Hey, listen here, pal, cut it out. Hey, look, buddy, don't go any further, all right? Gosh darn it, that's racist. Don't you dare, not in my house, not. Nah, get a load of this guy. No way, not today, brother, right? That's the expectation, that you're gonna like notice it, you're gonna catch it, and you're gonna jump on it immediately. And if you don't do that, then you must have been with that thing. That's the assumption, right? But then you're also, and I really didn't give some of my white friends enough credit in this position. If you take too much of a stand, that's also suspicious. You know what I mean? You hear me? Like if something like ignorant happens around you, or an ignorant question gets asked of you, and then you're like, what? No! Racism? Not today! Nah, buddy, I'm putting my foot down. Like, because then people are like, oh, what? Are you hiding something? Why are you so amped up like this? You know? And so to his credit, he's like, guys, look, it's the first day of Black History Month. What are you trying to do to me? All right? I didn't invent that look, okay? I got a barber. He knows how to do the taper. Trim it down in the back, 2 or the 4. But if you want to fade, I know a guy. I know a dude, he's good. You know, he does mine. Travis Kelce's sitting there like, what kind of questions are you asking me? How do y'all not know any black people? You cover the NFL. What's wrong with you? You know? And Travis and Taylor together, they do, to me at least, you know, the little bit that I engage with it, because I don't necessarily follow either one of them closely, but every time I see them together, they do look like picture perfect in a way where I'm like, okay, obviously you're going to get the conspiracy theories, but the conspiracy theories were weird to me because they were like people upset. But what's there to be upset about? It's football. She's blonde. We're in America. This is the most American thing that could be happening. And there are people that are like, no, it's a psyop. I'm like, against who? It's a beautiful white couple. Who are we trying to trick? What is the plan here? That's how you can tell there are some people that just need to be mad about anything possible. I'm like, what? You're the one that said stop kneeling, and now you're mad at Taylor and Travis Kelce for holding hands. What's crazy about the Super Bowl for me is that no matter who wins, no matter who it is, the celebrations I've always found very odd. You know? I understand celebrating when you get the touchdown. I love those. I hated when the NFL tried to like clamp down on any showboat, any celebrations, because you just did one of the hardest things in the world. Imagine if you did that for like a scientist. Scientist finds the cure and he can't even do a little. And you're like, Josh, why are you comparing scientists finding cures to players getting a touchdown? I'm telling you right now, they're almost as hard as each other. Because I have some pretty sizable individuals in my family, you know. And I have a cousin, he's 2'11", all muscle. If I wanted to get around him, I'd need something sharp. So trust me when I tell you, if I get around this man and then outrun him and then get a touchdown, I'm hitting it hard. I'm hitting it in his face because it may never happen again. I love like a good touchdown celebration. They spike that ball and then you see what moves they have because these are big men. These are very big men. So they're not always the most agile. Like they're good at running, but usually in a straight line. A lot of the times when these players fall, it's falls where, look, I'm not a professional athlete, but I don't tip that easy. Every once in a while, you'll see an NFL player run it, and then somebody just sort of moves their shoulder, and they're like, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. That's my favorite, is when they catch it, and then somebody's too close, and they're like, we going down. All right. No, but when they get in the zone, they've spiked the ball, there's a couple seconds left, and they're allowed to celebrate. This is when you could really do it. And they hit something you didn't even think was possible. You know? Really flowy with it. You know what I mean? They use their hips and stuff. And so, no, that's my favorite. I wish it was even longer. They should get more time to do it, you know? Like hockey has whole breaks for fights. You could let a guy run in and get on his hands and knees, and then the other guy's like, yeah! No, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing to see them that excited, that happy. This is what they work for. This is what they put their bodies on the line for, and it's why they're in pain most of the time. These dudes retire, and it's not like they can just take an Advil. They just have headaches for the rest of their life. And so in this moment, they did what they came to do. They scored. Maybe they won. Let them celebrate, you know? Some of the celebrations I don't get, though. Like, when they win and they have to throw some sort of liquid on the coach. I feel like we never ask the coach how they feel about it. Because they don't always look excited. It's almost like a requirement that whatever it is has to have some ice. And it has to be a surprise. They never do it from the front. It's always just poured all over the coach. Why is it? They win. They did what they came here to do. And they look at the coach and they're like, yeah, drown him. He'll love it. On top of everything, with Travis and Taylor and the Chiefs, you have the Eagles. Eagles fans, truly remarkable. They're terrifying. And it doesn't matter who wins, because whichever city wins, this happens every year, every Super Bowl, every Stanley Cup, whichever city wins looks like it's been attacked the next day. Why is it that the winning city looks so busted the day you won? Why are you tearing up your city? The team will win, and then their own fans will go out into the city and cause so much destruction. You would think the other team sent their city. Like, go get them, Kansas City. What they did to us. You know, I've watched it. I've watched it happen. You know, I lived in Chicago when the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. And a bus. They were leaving. Everybody's excited. And then there was just like a group think, that's a bus. It shouldn't be right side up. Let's go correct that right now. And then the bus driver is sitting in the bus like, y'all, I'm your ride. Why are y'all? We're going down. And on top of it all, you have the Super Bowl halftime show performed by Kendrick Lamar. And as far as we know, SZA and potentially some other guests, you know. And this is wild. You know, Kendrick said it about himself, but truly, we're seeing astronomical, historical levels of him being the biggest hater in the world. Fundamental hate. A hater where I pray I never have a hater that plans as well and executes hate so efficiently as Kendrick Lamar. This man hates the level of hate. Okay, so if you are not aware, in the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, the first song that you could say maybe even kicked off the whole thing, some people say it was like that, but some people say it was First Person Shooter. And in First Person Shooter, Drake says, big as the what? Big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl. And I guess Kendrick said, challenge accepted. Because you're not ready for the level of hate I can bring. And then there was a whole beef, and this whole thing happened, and, you know, Kendrick kind of, I don't know, I guess ruined Drake's life. And then it's announced that Kendrick is gonna be doing the Super Bowl halftime show. And Drake, he started suing. He started suing different parties. He started suing in different ways, different lawsuits claiming different things, some defamation, some were just petitions to get information, claiming that Not Like Us, the song that I'm assuming plays in Drake's head 24/7. You know, that song that they use bots. They must use bots. That's why it's so popular and everything. And then he withdrew one lawsuit and he filed another lawsuit. And it would seem, I'm not Drake and I'm not on his team and I don't know his lawyers, but it would seem that all these lawsuits are to, in some way, hopefully, possibly, stop Kendrick Lamar from performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. That is what a lot of people think all of this is about. He just doesn't want him to perform that song at the Super Bowl. And so maybe he thinks that if he causes enough legal trouble and kicks up enough of a fuss, that the NFL will be like, hey, sir, Mr. Lamar, Mr. Morale. I heard it. Great album. If you could not do this one, because we just don't want to be involved in any suits and stuff. I think that's what Drake was hoping. And it appears that has not worked, because then a representative for the NFL came out and said Kendrick can do whatever songs he wants, whatever. It's his halftime show, so let him perform. You know what I mean? And that's got to be rough. That must be rough if you're Drake to hear that, because now all Drake can potentially do is sue sound. That's the only thing he hasn't tried. If he comes out and is like, hey, anybody making noise can get it, all right? It's the only thing I can think of. You know what I mean? Because it must be terrifying. If you're Drake, to think that Kendrick might perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl halftime show, one of the most watched events in television, period, might be him doing a song he wrote about you. A song that already, as I'm speaking, has won 3 Grammys. That's gotta be terrifying, to think that he might go out there and perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. And the audience knows every word. That would be terrible. That would be, because I would never want to know that. Even if somebody made a song that was devastating about me and my life and it really tore me up and everybody liked it, I wouldn't want to know that they knew it word for word. You know? That's gotta be terrifying to think that Kendrick Lamar might get out there and perform Not Like Us. Might to a loud stadium of fans screaming. You know? Try and strike a chord, and it's probably I think even scarier than Kendrick performing Not Like Us is the audience performing Not Like Us. Because honestly, anticipation is enough. That's how real entertainment works, you know? Whether he performs it 17 times or he doesn't perform it at all, it's already met the moment in that way, you know? Everyone kicking up a stink about it is what actually caused it to get so much attention, just to see if he'll do it, you know? I mean, I hope he does it. I kind of hope it's the only thing he does. Mainly because the Super Bowl halftime show is recorded and it has all of its own production elements that gets them submitted for the Emmys. And so there's a chance that this Grammy-winning song might become an Emmy-winning performance. Oh. I will say, though, sometimes it feels like with sports, it's the only time you see so much investment. You see so much come out, like just thrill, agony, all these emotions around a dude's team, around that game, around players and stuff. And I think it's because like sports is one of the few places, maybe even one of the last places, that like a man can express all the aspects of human emotion. He can cry over his team losing. He can be elated. He can be like giddy like a little kid or something. And it's one of the last like socially acceptable places. It's very easy to say like, no, just cry. It's okay for men to cry, but you're not ready. I love when people say like, no, come on. Just break through decades and generations of trauma to just like do what feels like what you want to be doing. No, the only thing stopping you is your mind. As if it's that simple, Sports is one of the last few places that these bonds can be created and that you can fully express yourself. It even creeps up in little different ways. Things that you are innocuous enough, but they run cover for other things, right? Like, let's go. Every one of us here knows a man who has a water bottle. Maybe it's half full, maybe it's a quarter full, but he throws it up in the air and it flips and it flips and it flips, and then if it lands right side up on a flat surface, he will lose his mind. He throws the ball up. It flips, lands right side up. Let's go! Like, let's go was just invented to run cover for dudes crying. It is. Go! It's the same mouth movement. It's the same shapes. And if you scream, let's go hard enough, You squint, and when you squint, people can't tell you're crying. Because we've all known a man. All of us here have known a man where his team, whatever the reason it is that he loves that team, it doesn't matter. His team is down. All right? Loved this team since he was a little kid. Memories going to the stadium and everything. His team is down. It's a very important game. Playoff game. Maybe the game that decides whether or not his team goes to the Super Bowl. This team that he loves, who maybe has never got this far in a long, long time. And they're down with 3 seconds left. They have possession, and they throw a Hail Mary pass. All right? Wide receiver is running for his life as hard as he can. He jumps up in the air, and then by his fingertips, he manages to get control of the ball in the air. He clenches it tight. He lands. Touchdown. Touchdown. The team was behind, and now they're ahead. They've won. There were 3 seconds left. The game is over. And then your friend, who's not on the team, who's not at the game. Your friend on his couch pops up in front of the TV. Let's go! Like, truly, as men, I don't even think we would need let's go if we just felt more comfortable saying, I really needed that. Because I even try now to add more sports analogies in the examples that I make, because I feel like it accesses some people who don't get what I'm saying otherwise. There are people that are truly, we give them a bad rap and everybody makes fun of them and everything, but there are people who are genuinely very, very intelligent. You can tell they're intelligent because they find a game that they love and all the game theory around it and all of the possible combinations of what a play could be go through their head. They can screen a play perfectly, almost like it has the lines that we see on the screen, right? But for them, it's playing out perfectly. They know what's happening next. They know someone's made a mistake as soon as the play starts because they understand the game that much. They just don't ever know why their wife is mad. But I think if we incorporated more sports analogies in arguments, people would understand what went wrong. You know what I mean? Like maybe you're mad at your boyfriend or your husband because he forgot something. He forgot something that was really important, And maybe it was like your sister's birthday and you had so much going on that you asked him to go pick something up and then meet you at the party. And instead of going to pick it up, he just met you at the party. And now the place is closed. And so it looks like you didn't get your sister anything. And so you're upset with him because you asked him for this one thing. And instead of doing it, he just kind of blew it off, or he wasn't paying attention, or he genuinely just forgot and then showed up and he doesn't understand why you're upset. But if you say to him, look, it was fourth quarter. It was fourth quarter, and you're at the 3-yard line. Like, you're in danger of the other team getting a safety. That's how clutch this is. You only have a few seconds to pass off that ball, right? And if you don't do it just right, that's it, We're not coming back from this, And instead of looking out for your receiver who's wide open until 5 p.m., like I said, who's wide open. Instead of passing off to your receiver in that moment, you're looking at your tight end, you're looking at your other receiver, you're looking at defensive lineman for some reason, your head is just in the clouds, and out of nowhere you allow yourself to get sacked, right? I'm telling you, that husband, that boyfriend, these are good people. He would be like, oh, damn. present was the receiver. Oh. Got you. My bad, baby, my bad. No. Even in instances that people are like insanely divided on, like to the point of threats, to the point of the threat of violence, even in political arguments, if you use some sort of football analogy, sometimes that cuts through, you know? Like if Trump is the quarterback. And he hikes the ball, because this is the play that he called. He called this play. This was his play that he wanted. He gets to call the play. Not always, not every play, but this play specifically. He called this play because he wanted to do it, because he thought it was a good idea. This was his play, right? And then everybody was open. The tight end was open. The wide receiver was open. All right, defensive backs. Everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. Everybody on the sideline was cheering, giving support like they were supposed to, and everybody on the field was playing their position as best as possible. And the screen was even working well. You know, everybody's moving out of here. People are wide open. And then your quarterback, rather than throwing what could potentially be a touchdown pass, he just sort of threw it out of bounds. Which is confusing. So the next time that y'all huddle up, you ask him, you're like, hey, what was that? What happened? That was the play that you picked. Why'd you throw it out? Were you scared you were gonna get sacked? What is it a time thing? You're trying to stop the clock? Like you're trying to give him the benefit of the doubt in as many ways as you can. Like, hey, so what's the plan here? You're literally bent over, huddled up, looking in close. What's the plan? What are you doing? What is the goal here? Because I thought I was playing my position perfectly, and then you do the. So what's next? What happened? Tell me what happened. And then your quarterback is like, I think the ball was black. I don't know. You know? I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying that when I tune in to the Super Bowl on Sunday, I plan to watch a good game, hopefully a game that makes sense, hopefully a game that is epic enough that it can yield more analogies for my daily life. And if Kendrick Lamar performs Not Like Us, I'd be a liar if I didn't tell you that even though I wasn't on stage and I wasn't at the game, I wouldn't pop up off my couch like, let's go! Cincinnati, y'all been phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Josh Johnson!
I think that debate is incredibly important. It means a lot if you can take the time to distill all your thoughts, put them up against the thoughts of someone that you don't agree with, and at least come to some common ground, find some basis in reality of at least why the two of you believe what you believe, right? My worry, though, is that every day debate is getting dumber. Like in a way that's not even savable now. I mean, it's one thing for us to disagree about something and then try to talk the thing out as best as possible. But what's happening now is insane. especially online, I am watching so many people argue if 100 men can beat one gorilla. Based on the comments I am seeing, I'm terrified that one gorilla might outsmart 100 men. This is very bad. The logic is not lining up here at all. It's a gorilla. It's gorilla. You don't really need to know much. It's gorilla. Gorilla. Like it's a gorilla and it's 100 dudes, but we haven't even established the parameters of the battle. We haven't. Like some people, for their scenario, they want to use 100 UFC fighters specifically. And it's like, all right. Okay, maybe. But also, where is the battle taking place? If this is 100 men versus one gorilla in an open field, maybe everybody can flank them and surround them and jump on each other and try to smother them or whatever the plan is. But if this is just a gorilla running into a Blink Fitness, everybody dying. Like everybody die. Every single person in there is dying. If this was just a gorilla running up into church, then yeah, nobody's making it. The plans are insane. The ways that people who I know don't actually own dry erase boards have gone to the store. Bought a dry erase board specifically for this purpose. Brought it home and then put it in front of their phone like they just had that in the garage or something. Breaking out the marker, going through the whole thing. And this is what gets me, right? Is that no matter who you talk to, anyone that really believes that these 100 men are gonna beat this one gorilla, no matter who you talk to, everybody is like, all right, look, some of y'all will die. It's like, that's why it's not gonna work. You didn't say us. You said some of y'all, which means you playing on. That's the thing that really gets me, is that you're assuming that 100 men are gonna cooperate. Like you're assuming 100 men are just gonna be like, yeah, you got it, boss. No, you know how many cooks are gonna be in that kitchen? Probably enough for a gorilla to kill. That's crazy. 100. I've been going, it's been a week. It's been a full week of me arguing with people. I'm like, guys, it's a gorilla. It's a gorilla. Okay. No. This is important. This is important, all right? Because I could tell just by the vibe in here that a couple of the dudes in here are like, nah. I can feel it. I can legitimately feel it. I'm not psyching at all, but I'm looking at you, look at me, and I can see a couple of y'all are like, maybe he can't do it, but somebody been working out all winter. Okay. No, okay, this is important, all right? So, in the true crime documentary space, okay, as men, we've had a rough go of it. Turns out we do most of the killing, okay? We do a lot of the killing. We do a bunch of it. Some would say all, some would say we just haven't caught the women yet. But we do a ton of it, all right? We do an HBO, a Netflix, a Paramount, a Hulu, a Disney Plus amount of the killing, all right? We do all the podcast killing, we do all that, right? And because we do all that, we've been getting a bad rap for a while. There's a lot of people like, ooh, you going to a dinner date with a man? Watch out, girl, right? Like it's just all of us killing all the time. I haven't killed anybody. I've been at home watching these men kill. But said all that to say, that in 2024 we got a bit of a reprieve, right? We got a little bit of a stay on our beat down in the media as men, right? Because a documentary series came out called Chimp Crazy, all right? Now, Chimp Crazy is, you may not recognize it as the savior that it is, but you got to remember that in documentary series, all of them, almost exclusively, have been about men being evil and bad and murdering and all this other stuff. And then finally, there was a show called Chimp Crazy, where almost exclusively white women were adopting chimps, letting them get too strong and releasing them into the community. It's like, that's what we needed. It's not all up. Finally, something is not a man's fault, because they interviewed these women and they're like, no, he's like my baby. And then he gets real strong. She's like, ooh, let him out the window. Like, if you have not watched it, it is a phenomenal series. It is genuinely terrifying and insane, and it is both brilliantly done and horrible to watch, but also captivating. You can't look away. It is truly insane. And I know that there should probably be a name. There should probably be a name for what this thing is that these ladies have, because basically in the US we like having exotic animals, and one of the exotic animals that people really love having is chimps, right? And so these people will get chimps on the black market, and when you get a chimp very, very young, it does act almost exactly like a human baby. Now, what's so crazy about this situation is that some of the women in these Chimp Crazy scenarios, they do have kids. They have kids. The kid will even be like, oh yeah, I went to college and came back and she didn't notice. She loved that chimp. That chimp is her favorite. Yeah, I don't even know what to do. Right? So some of these women do have kids, some of them don't, right? But they treat the chimp like a child, because when they get it, it genuinely needs them the way that a baby would need a mother. They even have to hold the bottle for the milk, and they have to cradle it just like a baby and everything. And it's very sweet, it's very cute, and the chimp does get attached to them, like deeply attached, like a baby would, right? And the first 2 years of owning a chimp, you shouldn't do it, don't do it. The first 2 years of owning a chimp is exactly like having a baby. You know, they're not really talking, they're learning to walk, they're doing all the stuff like on this sort of timetable that's almost close to like a human baby, right? And then at three, the chimp does get stronger than a baby, but still acting like a baby. You can still train it and tell it what to do and get it to stop doing stuff and everything, because the chimp is like, it's taking in all of the stimulus around it, and if you raise it like a kid, it'll start acting like a kid. At five is where you run into trouble, because at 5 is the first time the chimp looks around and goes, I'm the strongest one in here. I don't think I'm going to bed. All right? So, said all that to say that one example is in the show Chimp Crazy. This woman is, okay, so she has her chimp, right? And the chimp, they've been trying as a community, as a city, they've been telling her, you gotta get rid of this chimp. She's like, no, it's my baby, no, I can't do that, no, right? Never mind the chimp. She would take the chimp in the truck with her to go places, so she'd take it to go get ice cream or whatever. And there was one time she took it to go get ice cream, and it just got out of the truck and nobody could get it back in, and it stopped traffic because it was like, I like where I'm standing right now, and I bet you won't move me, right? And so then the city told her, look, if anything like this ever happens again, we have to come get the chimp. You can't just have the chimp stop in traffic and stuff. She's like, okay, right? Then one day, the chimp's got to be like, oh, it's over 5 now. And it's just wilding out, because it's like, you know what? I should be in the trees. I should be in the trees, and wood paneling isn't going to cut it. So it's flying throughout the home, right? And she freaking out. So then, as much as these women are like, this is my baby, this is my child, whatever, when you listen to the 911 call, almost every time, they're like, shoot it. almost exclusively. Every single time, right? And so basically, then she's over here, she is either making so much noise or calls her neighbor that her neighbor comes over to help her, right? Now, this neighbor doesn't love the chimp like she loves the chimp. So the neighbor is like, we have a wild animal in here that will kill us on purpose or by accident. I have no idea, right? And she's already calling. She's calling the 911 and she's like, shut it, right? And then her neighbor, in order to try to subdue the chimp, attacks the chimp from behind, right? And then the chimp turns around, and I don't know if it was on purpose or by accident, but that chimp slapped her face off. And that's not even a gorilla. So you have no chance against a gorilla. In what world do you have the nerve to think you could last again? And then you see the dudes in here. No, okay, we gonna send them in waves, right? So that first wave gonna get in there trying to tire him out. It's like, no, he won't get tired if he killed for fun. If murder is his favorite game, he's not gonna get tired of anything. No. You run it up on that gorilla. Gorilla just grabbed two dudes, right? Just grabbed their legs, used them as nunchucks to beat everybody else. They're over here going full Bruce Lee with it. No, it's insane. It's an insane premise. No. You're assuming 100 men are going to cooperate, coordinate, execute this plan. You're assuming you don't have a single coward in there. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not the one. All right? You better pray I'm not one of your 100 men. You'll know you shouldn't be jumping the gorilla with me because I'll be that type. If you ever have somebody in your clique like this, don't do the jumping. If there's somebody like me, it's like, let's get them, fellas. That's a sign of somebody who's about to get you killed, all right? If they say fellas, that's insane. Attack, boys. No. It's true. I'm not that guy. And I'm fine not being that guy too. There's some people that need to prove something to someone all the time. That's not me. I became very comfortable with who I was a long time ago. Even in other situations, you know, I can already tell you right now, when it comes to things getting bad in the world, apocalypse type of stuff, I'll die. Apocalypse, I will be dying. Thank you. You know, I don't know. You know, I had some friends that I went to church with, all prepping and all this stuff like that. I was like, I don't know why you trying so hard to live if the apocalypse happens. Like, we both think we going to the same place. I'm gonna get there early. Why would I keep fighting? No, that's crazy. I'm not gonna keep fighting after bullets. I can't make bullets, so that's the end of my fighting, right? And I can barely hold a gun at that. I'm gonna miss a lot. So if it's like a zombie apocalypse situation, I'm getting bit, okay? I'm not trying to get bit. I'm not gonna offer up my neck or something like that. I just already know that if I'm in a zombie apocalypse situation, when the zombie is coming at me, I'm gonna be like, oh, he ain't got no ears, 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 he ain't got no ears. I will not be running. He ain't got no ears, he ain't got no ears, he ain't got no ears, he ain't got no ears. Biting my neck, he ain't got no ears, he ain't got no ears, he ain't got no ears, he ain't got no... No, if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm a zombie immediately. You know, I feel like I wouldn't even zombie right. If I'm really being for real with you, I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would zombie like in a way that made my family proud. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I could. Because I'm already not a fighter. I wasn't fighting enough to not be a zombie. I was ready to die. You You know, like I've watched The Last of Us. I was like, would not be me. That's not making it to season 2, probably not episode 3, all right? You're not gonna catch me fighting to live in a world with no Wi-Fi. Are you serious? What are you doing? I'm out here trying to treat this water, drinking dirty water, but I put charcoal in it, so maybe that'll get some of the... Just so I can read by candlelight? Are you serious? No. I'm not gonna be fighting this hard to live in the past. No, and then I get bit, now I'm a zombie, and I'm an embarrassing zombie. I just don't think I would have... I don't know if I got the base to be a zombie. Do you know what I mean? Because zombies supposed to be like, right? I don't know what it is. I feel like I would just be like, ah! I got my hands wrong too. Zombies don't even want to hunt with me. They're like, ugh. Even humans are like, can I be bit by anybody but him? Like, I don't like what he's doing. Oh, new zombies trying to show me how to zombie right. Like maybe, I don't know, who knows? Maybe somebody I know got bit before me, and zombies can like communicate a little bit because it's like a virus that you both share and you trying to spread to other people. So there's pulling people aside, trying to get them to give me a chance, you know. And over here like, yeah. And that's how I died twice. Like, all I'm saying, all I'm really trying to say is that I'm not like a survivor in that way. you know? And so if it's me and 99 other people, it is up to those 99 other people to take out this gorilla. Because the other thing, even when you have a plan, famously, Mike Tyson said everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. In the case of a gorilla, everyone has a plan until they get their whole face slapped off. Because even if we're all charging in, let's get them, fellas. Even if we're all rushing in, right? And we're boot to boot, side by side. You're there to protect the man next to you, and you're running in with everything that you have. We will, out of instinct, stop the first face that comes on. We will be like, ooh, that, just that hesitation alone, 3 more of us died. Just that, ooh, you can't even have that. Oh, because if we're talking about 100 men, this is the way I imagined it. And maybe I'm wrong to the people who I think are wrong. The way I imagined it, it was 100 men. It'd be 100 men at random, 100 different body types, 100 different backgrounds, 100 different ages, you know? So I think you're rushing in with 100 random men. If you even have a plan, if you really think you can pull this off, right? I think you still have to take into account who you're going to have by virtue of that randomness. Like, I think out of 100 men, you're going to get at least 9, maybe as high as 13 actual martial arts practitioners. People who actually know how to fight. And actually knowing how to fight may not save you, because you got to remember, men lose fights to men. Every time men fight, a man lose. So just because he knows some stuff doesn't mean it's going to be effective. You might have your jiu-jitsu practitioner in there. Blue, black, who knows? Whatever belt suits your fancy for the scenario. He runs in, he actually syncs up an arm bar on that gorilla, gets him right where he wants him, grabs the arm, legs in between, pulling it, trying to break that elbow, right? Pulling it as hard as he can. And you see the gorilla go, oh. Oh. That is useful. Bow, 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 bow. Now you just made the gorilla a gauntlet to beat the rest of us with. You know? Get a Muay Thai fighter in there. Ooh. Muay Thai with the short, close combat. That's where you get the elbows in, where you get the knees in, right? And maybe he gets that gorilla right where he wants him, jumps up, wraps his hands around the gorilla's head, goes for that knee, right? And then the gorilla's like, that knee was delicious. Turns out knees are my favorite flavor. I will be attributing that to the rest of my combatants. You might have somebody in there. Ooh. Somebody well-versed, potentially a master of Kung Fu. And we're talking old-style Kung Fu, the things they made the movies of. Right? He'll be a great distraction. You have him off to the side. Hey, gorilla! Y'all now. Y'all get him. Hey, get him. Hey, hurry. Y'all, he getting close. Y'all. Hey, he getting close. Hey, don't run. Oh, he getting close. Y'all, hurry, do something. The last half was in heaven because he died away, like halfway through that. Because there are people who don't want to believe that individuals like this exist. But they do. They do. Out of 100 men, you're going to have at least one of those people that's really gifted with animals. And I don't mean, by the way, like a vet. I mean gifted with animals the way that they make TV shows about those people. You know those dog people? Those dog whisperers? They make the whole TV show. You don't know what, he doesn't actually train you in what he's doing. He just knows how to do it. You know, dog acting all bad and everything, and then he whisper in the dog's ear, and you can't tell what he's saying. He's just sort of making noises. But the dog is like, ooh, you cooking, okay. Yes, that does make sense. I should stop biting people in the face, yeah. For every 100 men, I believe, personally, you will have one Doolittle. You'll have one guy that can really communicate with an animal. There are people, and there are animal people. And he is the most animal person. He is an animal person squared, right? He just knows something, connection to nature. There's something intuitive there. And he goes, hey, y'all, look, we're almost all dead. Let me try. And you're inclined to let him try because you're down to like 43 of you. So if it didn't happen with 100, the odds are getting slimmer by the guy. That's the only thing that bothered me about the whole thing, where it's like there was one dude whose whole plan was for the first 20 guys to die. I'm like, well, then it's really just 80 of you versus a gorilla. Those are worse odds. Anyway. He, goes up to the gorilla, and maybe he's beating his chest, maybe he's making noises. I don't know what he's doing because I don't know how to do it, but he's going up there. And the gorilla is even like, oh, okay. Well, what's that there? And he goes up and even gets close. And the other guys are hanging back. They're like, oh, what should we do? I don't know. It's working. He's talking to him. Should we try to get behind him? I don't know. Let him do what he's gonna do. Maybe the gorilla will kill himself. I don't know. He goes up to the gorilla and he's communicating in whatever shared language, shared motions, movements that they have. And he tells that gorilla, hey, look. It's about 43 of us left. Kill everybody but me.
But I was running so fast and so hard that I knocked down this old man. And I mean, I cleared him, okay? Normally I'd feel bad, but it's the closest my little body's ever come to football, so I was pretty excited. I was like, he might be dead. Look at me go. You know? But I did feel bad, so I let the bus go. I helped him up to his feet. It was this old black man, and I even realized that he was blind, so I saw his stick. So I grabbed his stick. I put his stick back in his hand, and I was like, sir, I'm so sorry. I hope you're not injured. You know, you came out of nowhere. Please forgive me. And then this old blind black man went, get your hands off me, honky! And I was like, sir. Sir, I'm black. I'm black like you. And he was like, nice try, cracker. Like there was nothing. There was nothing I could do. I've never had to prove I was black for it, so I got mad, but then the madder I got, the whiter I sounded. Until the point where I was just standing in front of him like, by golly, I'm black, gosh darn it! There's nothing I could do. It was terrible.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell a friend. That would be a huge help if you tell people about it. Sharing is great. There's like a share button, but if you tell people, they might click on it.